Hi guys, how you going all?
Yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. Yeah, just we'll wait another couple of minutes and just make sure people are joining, and yeah, we'll get started. Thanks for coming. Hey guys, how you going? Welcome to the OpenxAI Orientation Session. We're in the first orientation session this week. There is another one coming up later this week. You can go to Luma to find that out. We've got some people trying to join the call. Sheila's on the call to help with that. So yeah, if we're all good, we'll get started. So yeah, I just wanted to run you through the orientation session. We're basically doing an intake soon and wanted to get people that we've been working with in the recent hackathon, with the recent uni reach out. So we've been doing, really keen to get you guys on board. So I wanted to do a quick introduction of OpenxAI, show you, basically demo the product, show you the team that's building it, and then the different opportunities available. So just a quick one for today's sesh. I'll try and run through it as quick as I can, but basically we'll be running through what is OpenxAI, demoing the studio, and then going into the jobs and application process and the Q&A at the end. So yeah, if you have any questions, just save it to the end and we can run through it. So what is OpenxAI? Basically, it's your data, your AI, and no middleman. So we are able to let developers and app builders be able to deploy on decentralized CPU on global bare metal providers all around the world. It leads to data sovereignty, so you're controlling everything about your server, the box that your app runs on top of. It's decentralized, so you can choose any bare metal provider. It doesn't have to be the big 3 cloud providers in the world. And you can basically choose the wholesale rate, so the lowest rate for your services. And you can run that on that machine. And then we're also doing a few different app store launches in the coming weeks, which I can briefly talk about as well. So yeah, let's just get started. So what is the problem with AI currently? The AI is very restrictive in terms of the largest corporations control it. Now, there's been a huge, I guess, progress in this field in the last year. But if you go back, say, 3 years ago, it was only the big companies like ChatGPT, OpenAI, that were controlling a lot of the narrative around like AI services. Now it's because of the open source releases over this year, such as DeepSeek, we're able to take back a lot of that power and control away from those large centralized companies and distribute it out to all the other people that want to use AI services in their apps to build businesses and empower whatever services they're trying to provide, whether that's for other customers that they're running a business for, or for themselves as well. So what we've been doing is, for the last 5 months, OpenxAI has been building this platform that can enable decentralized AI. We've been partnering with a lot of companies in the space to launch this, and basically it's powered by technology that's people in Sydney have been building for the last 3 years. So there's a startup called OpenMesh. They've been building basically the decentralized cloud layer that this runs upon. You've probably seen hype cycles in AI, where the valuations of a lot of these companies are very astronomical. Let's say, for example, OpenAI is released with ChatGPT. The valuations goes up really high. Then DeepSeek comes out and the valuation drops because they realize there's potential for businesses to release similar services as ChatGPT, but do it at 10, 20, 30 times cheaper, and then pass those savings on to the customer. So this is a growing market. Similar to, say, other tech markets, it goes through a few peaks and troughs, and then it basically gets rolled out to mainstream. Everyone's using AI. So the sort of breakdown for AI access, it's very restrictive. So when you go to create an account, you might get, on a typical SaaS product for AI, you might get a certain amount of usage per month, and then it'll ask for you to go to the premium tier, or they'll restrict a bunch of the premium products. So the more powerful AI LLMs, you won't be able to use unless you, say, pay $50 a month or $200 a month. Now, a lot of these costs are completely out of reach for people, say, in different parts of the world that can't afford that. There's also people that might not even have a credit card in that region. So they're basically unbanked. They can't use a lot of these services as well. A lot of SaaS products, you need to swipe your credit card, as in enter your credit card details to sign up. It may not bill you on the free tier, but then when you do progress to, say, in terms of usage to the premium tiers, it'll then charge you. So this is already out of reach for a lot of people. And if you look at it the other way, instead of closed source AI models, open sourcing all that, and then making sure that everyone there's no access or paywalls to use it, basically is the mission behind OpenxAI. So the complexity around AI, there's 93% of the AI users are non-coders. So people that have an idea for a business, they want to be able to build that business without knowing all the complexities around deploying AI models, how to scale the cloud side of it. What we're doing is working on that open mesh cloud infrastructure in the back end. Then people can deploy that on top of OpenxAI Studio, and they can build that business up. And I'll be running through a couple of demos of what that looks like. But yeah, this is a huge market. So the easier we can make AI deployable, and then allow startup business owners to be able to build their businesses, not pay huge fees, is going to unlock AI for a lot of people around the world. The other part of it is building an AI startup or your own business that doesn't cost a fortune. Like I mentioned, $30,000 per month typically to run a pure AI startup. It might be doing a lot of, say, API calls to these centralized providers. It then basically costs a lot to run that per month. And then it takes a lot of time, like technical implementation steps, to get that deployed and building your startup. There's a lot of restrictions, again, around the unbanked and people that need a credit card and pay all the fees for the API access. So with the solution with OpenxAI, they've been able to bring that cost right down. And it's basically 80% more affordable to do it across decentralized cloud. And then you can imagine the costs you can save as a business, and then you can pass that on to customers that can pay for the service. That instead of like $50 a month, they might pay $5 a month. I've already discussed a lot about this, but basically it's an open source protocol. So you can check out our GitHub. You can see what the OpenxAI Studio is. So it's a platform that we host, but you can also run it on your own machine. It talks directly to decentralized cloud providers all around the world. And I'll do a demo just to show you where all the cloud providers are. And then basically all the X nodes that it runs on is a fork of a NixOS Linux operating system. So if you go to OpenMesh GitHub, you can see that all the X nodes that make up the OpenMesh cloud are all decentralized nodes as well. And what we're able to do is scale that up and really drive down the costs for AI. So we've got a big team. I work as DevRel. I'm just joining here today to run through the orientation. But yeah, the founder is Ashton Petarachi. We've got Santeria Romo from Head of Ops, and then we got Samuel Menz. He's the engineering lead. So we got Shashi, Head of Development Ecosystem, and Marina from Head of Marketing. We've got a lot of others helping, and you can sort of see that these are the early contributors to the project. As we scale this out, we're a big believer in decentralization, turning that into a DAO, and then decentralizing that out to the people that contribute to the actual platform. I say platform, it's open source stack, so anyone can run it. Like I said, it's decentralized hosting around the world to run it as well. So there's we're building up something that sort of can't be a middleman and taken down, so anyone can use AI wherever they are in the world. So just going into some of the differences between OpenxAI. So you can sort of see one of the big similarities, I'd say, is Hugging Face. So they have a lot of open source models. You can host certain apps on their platform, but the restriction is you still have to KYC. You may have to register your name and details, provide a credit card to use some of those models. Some of those models have terms and conditions. Then also, if you do deploy an app on top of Hugging Face, there is a possibility, because it's a centralized platform, that it can be taken down as well. And this doesn't have to be something, like terrible, that you've basically built an AI app and then people are using it and it gets taken down because of profanities or swear words or something, or something even worse. It could be something as simple as like a trade law or something, where a model can't be imported into a certain country, and then all the people in that country can't use, say, US models in their country. So with decentralization, with open source, basically it's possible for everyone to be able to run and deploy their own models anywhere in the world, and we're big believers in that. But in terms of just comparison, like we're essentially a decentralized Hugging Face, and we're building up and scaling out all the open source infrastructure so people can build these apps. We also go a lot further than Hugging Face. It's very hard to build a actual startup business on top of Hugging Face. It doesn't do all the cloud hosting features, doesn't let you map a domain to your application and build your business up in your own domain. A lot of those features aren't there, so we're basically a lot more holistic than that. Again, there's typical cloud providers, ChatGPT, AWS. They're more centralized. Again, they're not fully open source. So what happens is they can charge whatever they want, depending on what the profit they need to make for their shareholders. Typically, they have a strategy where they give out the low tier of their product for very affordable, but then they get you when your, say, startup business scales up and you need to use AWS services a lot more. You might start seeing $20,000 a month fees for your startup business, and even $50,000 a month. So with that, you can get around a lot of that if you just go bare metal cloud and use like a small software layer on top to deploy your services. And in comparison to those other AI providers, OpenxAI really drives the costs right down. So typically where a business or a middleman would make 80%, 90% markup, we're able to save that and pass that directly on. And that's literally because the person that's running their business, their AI services, owns and controls the full open source stack and all the data within it. And then they're picking the cheapest, most affordable data center provider around the world. We sort of look at it as a sky scanner for compute and AI services. So basically working with independent operators all around the world that run data centers. The big ones that we use is like High Velocity. You've got Vulture, they provide bare metal. You've got quite a few others, and I'll load up a screen that actually runs into that. So let's jump over to the studio. I just deployed this, so let me just have a look. So this is basically the OpenxAI studio. So if I just go to say studio.openxai, we do have an app store which has all the different models that you can select to build your app or startup. Let me just zoom in. I can see someone squinting there. So basically, yeah, basically we've got all the different open source models. We're adding a bunch more. We're actually doing a huge update of this app store. So it won't just be open source models that you can select to be Lego blocks to build your AI app or business. You'll be able to actually build up your application. It might be called EcoTrace, for example, and you can build that application up, and it will be a fully blown app store where you can actually select people that have built AI applications on top of this studio, and then everyone else can also use it, and there will be monetization models as well. So yeah, there's also, we have support agents as well. So there's agent frameworks that you can click and install on top of your open source AI model. So they're all the sort of areas that you can get into. And I'll just quickly run into how easy it is to deploy. So basically DeepSeek R1, this is the big disruptor to say ChatGPT. They wanted to charge $200 a month. They're even talking about $10,000 a month subscription fees to sort of replace an employee at a company. You might have they're literally talking about charging businesses $10,000 a month for a junior developer or something like that. And yeah, there was a bit of an outrage, and then DeepSeek came along, and a lot of the profits earlier this year, a lot of the share prices dropped by significant amounts. It was red across the markets for a lot of AI startups as companies like DeepSeek were able to deliver that for a lot cheaper costs. And this isn't just related to one country. There's open source models being released all around the world. I'll quickly deploy one. The big one, I mentioned the App Store. So we're actually building decentralized ways for you to monetize and make money off of the app that you build. I'll just quickly mention, so we are partnering with an L2 to be able to release this within the next month. But basically there'll be ways that you can just, in a drop-down page that's on this updated studio, you'll be able to just select the different business models for your startup or your app. And it could be just really simple subscription service. So if you want to access this app, just connect your wallet and press $5 a month, and you can get full access to this AI application. The other one is the basically fractionalized data sets. So basically there could be a bunch of people that are running a data set, sort of pool of data, and they could actually host it on different X nodes. They can then offer that back to the actual startup ecosystem that's building on top of this. And it might be a huge medical data set. It might be a huge educational data set. But you can sort of make money through sharing data with other app builders. The other one is staking. So people will be able to stake a token, direct it towards an AI app, and then be able to access it just through staking, and the benefits of the staking go to that app holder. So as you can see, and then the middle one here, I just wanted to quickly say, the whole X node and all the config and data, when you click connect wallet, is wrapped in an NFT. So you can actually run this business, scale up your application, and sell the NFT on OpenxAI, and you can actually sell your whole business. So let me say I just built a startup called EcoTrace, where you can sort of come in and select different products, find their carbon footprint. If I just built that up and I started getting 100,000 users per month, data's coming in onto the decentralized X node, and something happens and I don't have enough time to run this startup anymore, I can actually it's already wrapped in an NFT. I can actually sell it on OpenxAI as a business sale. So there's a lot of cool tech out there if you combine a little bit of Web3 with AI, and we're able to build all that out, and we're releasing a lot of these features over the coming weeks. So we'll just decide later for that, and then basically we're deploying the smallest parameter DeepSeek model. So that'll get deployed to an X node, and what we can do is just go here. So over on the deployments page, we've got 3 X nodes. So we're paying for 3 X nodes, 3 servers that are running, and basically you let this install the NixOS or the Xnode OS fork operating system. It then installs all the different software packages like Olama, all the different Nix packages to support things like Next.js front end. You can have Python as a backend in the app. You can do anything because it's open source. I'm just sort of showing you what's happening in the logs here. We did have an engineering call yesterday. We've got a recording for that, and we'll be sharing that on YouTube, so you can actually get stuck into, if you guys are really technical, you can actually look at the back end, how this all works. So typically with, say, Azure, AWS, they've built their own in-house closed source products that let you deploy a server, deploy a website on their platform. Maybe they have a way to scale up a database across different data centers for AWS, or different way to store files in different blobs and things. So if you imagine all of that closed source technology, the cloud stack, but completely open source. While this loads, I'll just go to nixos.org, and I'll just quickly show you what I'm talking about. So this community, this operating system is very focused on being able to deploy reproducible, declarative, reliable packages on top of hardware. And the hardware that this operating supports is basically all the cloud provider hardware for bare metal servers. Bare metal servers just means it's hardware with no software installed. And with NixOS, you're able to reproduce whatever you create as an app. There's a huge library, and I'll just show you what I'm talking about. So if I want to install, let's say, Olama, which is basically a backend package that can run and host LLM, you can do this on your own home computer as well. So you can go in here, you can see that someone's made an Olama package. You can then see how to configure it. And what we're doing is we're looking after it, so it's a lot easier for you to figure this out. We're making a nice UX, so you can just run through the studio and click deploy, 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 and choose your different app packages and deploy whatever app you want to build. So we're making it super easy for people to find these packages. And like I said, there's 120,000 packages. There's heaps of packages. So all of this is open source. It's all built, it's stable, it's running on an open source operating system. There's open source packages, and then there's your code that runs on top of it, which we prefer for you guys to build in open source as well, so other people can learn from that and leverage open source. So what I'm saying here is the whole stack's open source, it's not closed source, and that means you're not paying a huge amount for different products that are made that are, you might scale up and they just have extraordinary costs per month. you actually get to look at the bare metal hardware, literally the CPU, the memory, the bandwidth and storage, and just look at how much is your hardware box utilizing, and you can actually see the real cost of it. So let's have a look at this. So this should load a, yep, logged in, beautiful. So what we've done is we've just got a, basically it's a web UI front end called Open Web UI. It's a front end that allows you to just chat to a llama. So, so yeah, basically this is DeepSeek R1, 1.5 billion parameter model. It's hosted, you probably can't see that, but yeah, so anything you want, you can just ask it. Obviously, this is just DeepSeek running on a Xnode server. You can run this at home. You just go to allama.com/library, install Allama. You can run all this stuff at home. But we're doing this on a cloud computer at a public address. So we're able to basically show you what I'm talking about. This is all the different apps you can deploy. This is just a chatbot app. It's cool. I wish I could type and talk at the same time. There we go. So who knows what it will say, but yeah, basically DeepSeek, I think, is trained on data from end of last year, so it should know about itself, but let's see. Okay, so DeepSeek is cool for several reasons. Innovative, open source, I have talked about a lot. Obviously community driven. They got a big ecosystem around them now. They launched open source, they kept their costs really low, and they've been able to expand not just for end users, but other businesses are using DeepSeek as a model in their startup services, their web services, because it's so cheap. They went, okay, do I self-host DeepSeek, or do I use, say, ChatGPT? And they went, okay, well, I'm just going to use the most affordable one and keep the cost low. And like I said, you can run through the app store here, which is actually all the AI models, and pick the different models. We'll be supporting a whole bunch more as well. Some models are set up for looking at, say, code. Other models are looking at images. Some are multimodal, so they can handle images, code, text, whatever. Some do video, some do, sound. So there's people make models for all of these things. They train them at home. They're very into sort of AI enthusiasts, into training their own models on whatever data, and then you can basically run it. So you might have a very specific use case, and you can build a very specific application with a very specific AI model. So just a quick one on the global sort of data centers that we aggregate. So basically, we work with 32 data center providers all around the world. There's all sorts of different data centers provided in different parts of the world. You can sort of see in Sydney, for example, a lot of these data centers, we basically, through OpenxAI Studio, let you deploy into these data centers and do that. So, and I'll just quickly go back. Let's say if I want to go to this App Store, sorry. If I wanted to just quickly choose that, yeah, here we go. So when I say Skyscanner, it's basically, it literally is like a Airbnb. You sort of going through, looking at all the different prices, different locations in the world, finding the best provider. So just like booking a hotel or booking a hostel or some sort of holiday house, you can sort of do that same thing for bare metal data center servers, and we're basically empowering you to be able to deploy your app straight onto it. Okay, so let me just get back to so you could see the studio before. I was basically showing the resources map. You guys got to see that? Yep. All right, I'm just going to flick back to the presentation again. So if you guys, if someone wants to go to studio.openxai and try deploying, yeah, keen to see how you go. So spend some time doing that. We only have 3 servers, so once they get used, you can use them for half an hour as a lease, and then it sort of gets released for everyone else to use. So let me know if you can access that and deploy a chatbot app. And then, yeah, like I said, this version of OpenxAI Studio is getting upgraded heavily. There's a lot of work to release actual apps on top of it. But yeah, while we're here, if you guys can have a play, I'll just have a look at the deployments. Yeah, I can sort of see 2 are reserved now, so that's someone else's reserved that one. There's one more slot you can have a look at there as well. So yeah, this is my one reserved. But yeah, there's someone else that's reserved, and I'll just refresh. No one's deployed the 3rd server yet. Okay, so let's I've run you through the demo. I just wanted to have some people play around with that and start chatting to their own deployed app. So yeah. Now, just a quick one. So I'm just talking about we've basically got a hackathon running. So let me just zoom out a little bit. I just wanted to quickly show you what this is. So we've basically got quite a few 12 job listings. They're out on the website called Airtable, and you can actually scan that QR code. I'll also drop it in the chat as well. Let me just post that for you so you can have a look. But we've got quite a few different job positions opening up. Now you can basically, what you can do is just apply. So put your name and details in, email, and then you say your resume, apply for the roles that you're looking for. Now, a lot of people we have on the call are from university, are still studying at university. They might be looking for a specific internship. So we do have internships available for each of these roles. We sort of look at them as streams. So we get a person in, they might work in one area. That person normally progresses from internships. Some might get hired full-time if you've got experience. So that's why we need the resume to assess that. But either way, let me just flick back. I'm sort of showing you so this is the Airtable I've dropped into the chat. So there is 12 roles. And then I'll just progress to the next thing. So 2 pathways is how you actually get the role. So we're an open source company. We basically work out in the open. We build in the open. It's all open source. You can see what we're building, and then we just communicate it out on social media. But what we actually do have is a DAO and DAO wallets that fund it. We do have roles that we sort of use the DAO to pay for. So the job seekers that we have, so if you are looking for a specific job or internship, again, apply at the Airtable portal. That's our OpenxAI job portal. The proof of work is completing the ongoing hackathon. So I had the vibe coding picture up there, but basically you can build an application on top of OpenxAI Studio. You can run it and build it at home, and then we help you deploy it. So it is on Studio, and basically that's it. That's the work assessment for what are your technical skills, what's your communication skills. So the other part of the hackathon is actually creating the project, but then coming up with a little name for the project. Maybe you might brand it as a certain website name or something. Then you can also create a Twitter or market it under your own personal name, and just see how many people you sort of get interested in the project that you built. And then through that, we're assessing technical and development skills. We're assessing communication skills. and then we're also assessing, say, marketing skills. Then we can actually figure out a lot from just you participating in a hackathon. There's also a part where you're presenting a YouTube video. You might build a nice video from your actual hackathon project demoing how it works. And if you can do all that, we actually see already just through sort of merit of what you've built, this is basically what we consider as part of the hiring process. So for job seekers, the way we're doing that, anyone can apply for the hackathon, but if you also have your email in the Airtable job portal, we actually cross-check that and go, okay, this guy actually is looking for a job as well. So let's look at the hackathon project and then look at the CV or resume that you attach. And at the end of the hackathon, we're running through that to look at different jobs for intakes. If you don't want a job, so some people aren't looking for a job, they're really interested in startups. So that's another section. So basically, again, enter the hack node, the hackathon for, say, Australia or India. Enter the hack node. If you can build a startup that has, say active interest from the community, maybe you're promoting that on Twitter and you get, say, 1,000 people on a sign-up list, we'll actually help a lot of the different projects host it for free, and you can actually build an AI startup and website on top of the OpenxAI platform. The best top 3 of the hack node are eligible to go into the global accelerator. And that's a completely different thing from the hack nodes that are running around the world. In Dubai, there's a lot more prizes. So the current hackathons are between 5 to 10K prizes in the different regions. But in the global accelerator, there's actually $100,000 of total prizes. And some of this could be, cloud credits, GPU grants, things like that. There's also hardware giveaways as well. So Xnode 1 hardware to give out. So there's a lot of that. In Dubai, they're also running a 1-month co-working space. We get free co-working space in a full office. Also the opportunity to meet investors and different mentors over there in Dubai as well. For the Dubai link, basically the company was able to raise money through Dubai, which is pretty much turning into an AI capital and tech capital for a lot of innovative startups around the world, all heading there. So it's a great place to just spend a month in. So we can certainly help you there with the Global Accelerator program. To actually join up to the hackathon, you just have to go to Bloxy Block. You can find the different countries that we are hosting hackathons in, and just click apply and fill out your details for the hackathon. Keep in mind the Indian one just started, Australia one started the middle of July. So there's only like less than 2 weeks left for the Australian hackathon, so get in there quickly. Again, I can vibe code an app in 10 minutes, so I'll give you tips on that, but there is a whole bunch of videos we recorded and workshops we run to help people. We're also offering one-on-one mentorship as well. So yeah, here's the accelerator landing page, so you can check that out as well. Again, India's just opened up, Australia's already running, USA's coming soon. So yeah, like I said, one-on-one mentoring, just join our Discord. So I'll get Sheila to drop a Discord link, but basically put that in the chat. You can join our Discord. So what we're looking for is you have to sign up to the hackathon. We cross-check that where you enter your Discord ID. We'll cross-check that and join you to the correct hack node. And you can join the hackathon Discord community, and we provide a lot of mentoring. We run events in Discord, and yeah, there's a lot of tips and certain things that we run every couple of days, maybe daily, going up to the closing dates of the submissions. So yeah, we're trying to help people build successful things. And I'll just go back to the actual tips for success. So I said vibe coding. I've made a whole video on YouTube. You can check that out, where I run through opening up a completely open source GitHub repository we've got. All you need to do is open that up in Cursor. Cursor sort of ingests that code as context, and then you can actually just talk to Cursor and go, hey, build an app like the one Johnny built, which is like a 3D climate simulator, where you add pollution and then it tells you what the climate metrics are. So, there's a whole guide there. I did it on a live recording of a 5-minute sentiment analyzer in code, vibe coded in Cursor AI. So, if you have any sort of inhibitions or you're scared of building an app and things like that, don't worry, because you've got AI to assist. And today's sort of age, and I did another video about this, a lot of employers out in the prospective world, if you're coming out of uni, they're looking for really specific skills around AI. Do I know how to prompt AI? Do I know how to use certain models for certain things? Can I, basically weird problems you might have at work, like there's a whole bunch of unformatted data in different files, and do I know how to use AI to ingest that and break it down, clean it up, and then use AI to get the answer? So a lot of these things can be solved just by knowing which AI model to use, using a tool like Cursor, opening up a folder with a bunch of data that's messy, and then using Cursor to be able to clean it up a lot and then process it. And so basically you get a lot of skills out of just submitting a hackathon project. You get something on your resume, which might be your, say, eco trace project you've submitted, and we're basically giving people experience. They can actually put that on their resume. We'll 100% promote the project that you've made. You might tweet it out, and we'll retweet that, promote that on LinkedIn as well, so you can use that as a pinned tweet for experience. We actually did that yesterday and today. I'll just see if I can load it up. So it's called Eco Trace. So this is a project that came out of Tanisha from University of Sydney. So basically, she's been building this, and what it does, you can scan, or you can manually type in. So I'm giving this as a project example for the hackathon. You can just manually type in iPhone 15 Pro. It pulls data about that product. It then looks at the predicted carbon footprint of creating that product, and it's pulling a little bit of data from here and there and using AI to actually process it. Skip over this login screen. The other part of it is that's just a single product. This demo, this is an example of the YouTube video that you can record. Preferably you have yourself talking, but it's okay. Then you can actually compare it to another product. So you might compare like an iPhone to a Tesla being created. Maybe you compare a BYD to a different Tesla. You can sort of see, basically the story of how Tanisha built this app. She started with assessing one product, added a comparison feature to assess two products, because that's really helpful for people out there. And we're actually working with her to host this for free. So I've already reached out to engineering. We're gonna basically, this is like a I think it's Next.js front end, Python backend. We'll help her Nixify that so it actually runs on top of our infrastructure, and then we can provide free hosting for her. So she can actually build up this site, this project, and get free hosting. Yeah, it's a really cool project. And then the third section is scanning a barcode. So she was able to use things like Cursor to add another feature, which is scanning a barcode. It's got the, this is all just using the webcam. So there's a browser, there's a web app, and then it talks to the browser's webcam, which is the computer's webcam. It then scans it, so basically importing a library for that. It then scans the number. It then looks up the number in a product database. And then, this for a demo, you can just add manually yourself. You don't have to scan every product in the world. and then basically it's pulling in the information around the spring water from Woolworths, a bottle, and just showing you the actual environmental metrics for it. So that is a quick example of what I'm talking about when I say to submit a project in the hackathon. You can vibe code it. You can get this created very quickly, and just make sure you get it in before the end of the deadline. This is for Australia, for Australians only. There is an Indian hackathon with a later deadline as well. The other part of it is just go to our Medium blog, so medium.com/OpenxAI. So basically, if you go there, check that out. We've been making a lot of articles to help you pick an app idea, and then tips to help build that, help provide code, and things that we're looking for. So just continuing the slides. So with OpenxAI and Xnode powered by OpenMesh, we're able to build a whole heap of new infrastructure at lower costs. We can enable monetization, break down the barriers for everyone around the world to get access to it, and then really drive down the cost so anyone can build businesses, monetize using AI. I've showed you the demo, so I don't have to dwell too much on this. But yeah, basically this whole OpenxAI studio is getting a massive update in coming weeks. So by the time of the hackathon's finished, you should be able to launch your app inside of an AI app store as well. So things like EcoTrace will be there. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. And what we're trying to do there is drive a lot of traffic to your app, so people can start playing with it, using it. You can start receiving, payments from people using it. So, yeah, it would be pretty cool. I've already run through the job application process. So now I'll just go into Q&A. So, yeah, just unmute for yourself and ask any questions for Q&A. We can go for about 8 minutes. Got some questions. Okay, so when is the deadline for the hackathon? So let me just, I just go to the accelerator page. So why am I doing that? Basically, you can see all the different hackathons running around the world. So assuming that you're in Australia, USA, or India, there is a solution for if you're outside of those countries. We've just got people helping in those regions to focus on those specific countries. But yeah, there is a solution if you're outside of that. But yeah, basically, if you're talking about Australia, so basically you can scroll down, you can sort of see the project submission date is the 12th of August. And you can see all the different prizes. And I'm sharing the old accelerator page. So I've clicked the Australia button. It then takes you to the accelerator hackathon page. It shows you the hackathon prizes and the project submission deadline, 12th of August. So yeah, you got another week to submit that. We're running a bunch of different events, so check those out on Luma. Obviously, you're through Luma here, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. It's got all the different rules and rules of the hackathon. So basically, you need to use Llama, so host it all on the same server. So basically, if you're building it at home, in the README file, it tells you how to do it. But basically, install Llama, build a front end, point it at the back end, and then build your front end app. You can add a Postgres database. You can build whatever back end you want, as long as it's closed source. You're not using external APIs. Sorry, as long as it's open source, you're not using closed source products or things that you had to pay for, and then you just add the code in. And then you can't use external APIs like, say, ChatGPT API or something. You can't use, say, Superbase as a database, but what you can do is use open source Postgres as a database and run it on the same server. Then in terms of judging criteria, there's 6 different metrics for how decentralized it is, how innovative, tech quality, user experience, so the UX, user adoption, which is, it doesn't have to be people using it live. It could be people interested in it, clicking on a landing page and getting interest. So just like a Google form. It could be followers on Twitter. And then the impact. So what's the potential impact in the real world of this application? Is it creating value for people and sort of finding product market fit? Okay, so after the recording, where should we submit? So basically, you submit here. So you click apply. There's a form when you click apply, and you fill out your details. You put your GitHub link in. There's also an open source GitHub repository, so you can clone that and vibe code with that. But you can also do a PR and submit the code in there. We prefer it that way. But some people don't want to do public open source contributions just yet. They just want to do private. We do have the ability to put the link in the hackathon Bloxy block platform, and you can put the link to your code base there. The next question we got is, okay, it's answered. So yeah, there's the link for, say, Australia. Again, you can just go up to the top, Bloxy block, and then it's actually got both hackathons running right here. So OpenxAI Hacknode Australia, and then Hacknode India. So have a look at that. The next question is, can I participate from Nigeria? That's a good question. So as the demand goes up, so what I would say is just go to accelerator.openxai.org, put your details in here for email updates. We're actually just tracking the phone number, things like that you use in here. So you can basically put Nigeria if you are from there as a signing up for information. We're actually just tracking how much demand is there from other regions. Yeah, definitely keen to hear from you. Try not to sign up at these pages if you're from different countries outside of those. We're obviously reviewing it and sort of culling any sort of people that are outside of those countries. But yeah, like there is going to be a solution where you can participate from other areas in the world. If you sort of go to the India hackathon, you can sort of see the dates. This one runs a little bit longer. Well, it started later, runs a little bit longer, end of the month. So yeah, there's potential where you have a bit more time to submit from other regions in the world as well. Then does any security projects? So let me just have a look at what that means. So is there any security projects? So you can do security projects. So basically you're running a bare metal server. You can actually, if you can use Python, install a library, you can do things like scan a website and scan it for security, do cybersecurity vulnerability checks on, say, front end or smart contract checks or things like that. So there's a whole heap of different cybersecurity apps. Just to mention, like OpenMesh and OpenxAI, they provide the GPU, they provide the CPU, storage, basic cloud hosting, and you can build whatever you want. So there's no restrictions. We do have different tracks. So they're just recommendations. But basically, I'll just look at the Indian one again. So if I just go here, you can sort of see the different suggested areas. They're not hard categories, but we do have sort of general areas: gaming, Web3, social impact, health tech, sustainability. Really, we've gone through and created some demo app code in the GitHub repo, so I can show that as well just quickly. But I will wrap it up. So you can see the code here. Basically, you can clone this to your computer. You can open it in Cursor AI and start building very quickly. I did make a environmental app or the 3D globe, and you can sort of see how that works. And what you can ask, if you go here, you can see hackathon submissions. And basically, there's PRs, pull requests for people submitting code into that. Some people are submitting code through their own repo on their personal account, which is okay as long as you link to that on the Bloxy block. And then in terms of cursor, you just say, hey, I like the EnviroTrack demo app, build me an app just like it, but change this feature and that feature. And then you can like build your own app very quickly and get started quickly. So yeah, we've made it as easy as we possibly can to make sure people aren't scared of code. They can use vibe coding to build stuff. I'm hearing on Twitter that like some of it might be 20% is how difficult it is to build technically. The other hardest part of building a successful, say, startup is getting all the users, all the people, the marketing and distribution. So if you're joining the accelerator, that's the part that you'll be scaling up on. Where if you're just joining the hackathon, technically building something is getting a lot easier with these tool sets. So, okay, that's the last question in the chat. Let me know if there's any other
ask one more
questions.
question?
Yeah, go for it, Moomin.
Yeah, so I see your point with vibe coding. It's a very useful tool, but don't you see any cybersecurity issues arising from it?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a whole industry born out of fixing vibe coders' security issues. So typically you might vibe code something and, models like Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, DeepSeek even, they'll put placeholders in like, hey, yeah, we should lock down this endpoint with an API key, but I'm just going to put insert API key here later as the code, and then people actually don't check their code and deploy it. That's not the fault of the AI. That's literally, you need to be a skilled operator. You need to have skills using AI. So people, obviously they know it used to hallucinate where it would produce code. It might produce recommendations that are just completely false or don't exist or don't match a programming sort of semantics or anything. Obviously, the models have got a lot better over the last 2 years. It's fooling a lot of people that aren't applying a critical eye over the output of the AI, the vibe code that's generated. And that's the part of the skill. It's like, okay, so let's do a security check. And then you can actually ask AI to do a security check. Okay, let's lock down all the endpoints. And then it will just run through and say, hey, everything's exposed. There's no API keys. None of the endpoints are locked down. So that it just still takes knowledge and skill around, understanding the overall end-to-end concept of building a web app. So you can still learn that vibe coding. It just takes a bit longer. So after you've built your 10th app, you would realize, yep, I'm going to build a back-end API, and I'm going to lock everything down, make it secure, not have dodgy parameters inserted in there, things like that. So by the time you get experienced vibe coding, built like your 10th app, a lot of that stuff will be locked down. And really, it's just a simple check, like ask the AI afterwards to lock it down for you. There is automated scanners you can use to make your app more secure as well. But yeah, it's a really big call out. And yeah, thanks for saying that. It's certainly something that we consider. The good news is deploying on top of an X node and using NixOS, it forces you to be secure just because the way they've got basically config files that deploy different packages. It forces you to actually only be able to deploy packages that work of a certain version. It adds hash keys, so you can't change packages when you're deploying after you deployed it. So it does a lot of that security checks for you. So NixOS is very secure, reproducible, so you can keep deploying it over and over again, and it scales up as well. And it runs really well on bare metal hardware at data centers. So obviously it has drivers and everything that support it through Linux. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things that Nix and Xnode OS enables. And yeah, basically build something, we'll host it for you if it does well in the hackathon, and then you can actually really build up usage of that app and start getting sort of followers on Twitter, build up customers using the app, and who knows what could happen. So you might win the hackathon prizes, you might win the accelerator if you're in the top 3 of the hackathon, and then go to Dubai as well. and maybe raise further funds for your startup idea. So yeah, very exciting. And basically for the job roles, make sure either way, whether it's building a startup or getting a job, submit something in the hackathon so we can see your communication skills, your tech skills, marketing skills, and we can assess that at the end. And you know, we'll be doing a job intake where we review that, do interviews, and then make some hires. So yeah, thanks for attending the orientation session today. Yeah, let us know. Join the Discord if you have any questions. Sign up for updates on the accelerator page. Join the hackathon, and you get updates there as well.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, guys.